is almost like last season never actually ended for Barca. They're wearing the same kits. They're completing the same comebacks they were completing all of last season. I forgot what this feeling was like, bro. I forgot how stressful it was to watch Barca all of last year. And then this year, they're like, hey, it might not be much better. It honestly might not be much better. But they always somehow find a way to get the win. A 3-2 win over Levante away from home in match week 2 of La Liga to secure the massive 3 points. I am so happy. My weekend was this close to being ruined. At halftime, my weekend was ruined. And now it's amazing, bro. It is honestly amazing. As you guys can see, I'm not wearing my usual attire. I'm a little bit more dressed up today because I'm on my way to a birthday party after this, and it's for a family member. And if Barca would have lost, you better believe I would have been the biggest grump at that whole party. I would have ruined it somehow. I would have found a way to ruin the party. I would have made it all about me, try to draw attention to myself in a negative way, and ruin the party. And I never do that, but I would have done it today. But now I'm gonna have the best time ever. I'm gonna have the best time ever because Barca got the win. And like I said, at halftime it wasn't looking good, but you know what? It's days like this, it's after games like this that I'm so glad I'm no longer a part of football Twitter. Because when I used to be on Twitter, like during the games, especially Barca games, because obviously that's the fan base that I saw the most because I'm a Barca fan. So I would see Barca fans, if Barca were not playing well or they were losing or something, bro, the fans on Twitter, sell this guy, sell that guy. This is why we're not going to win any single trophy. We suck. We're no good. The season is over. And I'd be like, bro, these people are so reactionary. Like, the game's not even over. And they're already talking about sell this guy, sell that guy. And I'm sure it was no different today. Again, if you guys can let me know if I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't like that today. Maybe people were being more sensible to the players. But bro, I guarantee you everybody was saying, oh, sell this guy, sell that guy. Hansi Flick got figured out. The highline's not working anymore. And look, all that was probably true in the first half. I mean, all those things that people were saying were probably true because Barca did not play a good first half. But they got the win anyway. Wow. And this team, man, like I said, they never cease to amaze us as fans, and I'm so happy. First of all, I want to say this, even though it's not first of all, it's like fifth of all, because I've already talked a lot on this video. But first of all, we'll keep it at first of all. I'm so sick and tired of wearing that kit. Barca have played 2 official games in this season. Not once have they been able to wear their kits from the season, from the 25-26 season. Both times they've worn those kits from 24-25 season, obviously last season. And every time I see that kit, it's like seeing the neon kit from 2019. It reminds me of a terrible time. I don't want to remember Inter every time I see Barca playing in those kits. So can we please get the actual kits? Barca have an orange kit. Levante wear red and blue. And it's like a darker. So why are Barca not wearing... I need a sip. That shit really pisses me off. I'm sick and tired of seeing those kids. It's Montjuic, it's the kids. These are things that I shouldn't be stressing about this. But anyway, that's the first thing. That's the first thing. Second thing, the pitch was absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. Before we get into the game, I wanted to mention these things though. The pitch was absolutely awful. Terrible. Like it was like a swamp, bro. It was like passing the ball in wet sand. What type of pitch is that? How are they allowing a game to happen in a pitch like that? The ball was moving so slowly. I was checking if it was raining. I was trying to see on the TV, is it raining or drops or like fuck, is water coming down from the sky? Of course, that's what rain is. And none of it was happening. It was just like the pitch was super wet. It's like they got a hose and just started spraying it before the game so they can make it more difficult for Barca to actually play their football. Because that was bad. But yeah, man, the kits and the pitch really pissed me off. The next thing, the second thing I want to talk about when it comes to the actual game. For the lineup, right? So the lineup was a little bit different. We saw Eric Garcia right back once again. No Koundé. Didn't see Koundé against Mallorca. Didn't see Koundé start today. Again, maybe Hansi Flick prefers Eric Garcia for these types of games where you're going to be facing a low block and Eric is obviously better on the ball than Koundé. So I don't know. Maybe that's what Hansi Flick is thinking, but it's weird to me. Jules Koundé just renewed. There was a streak that he had for Barca where he played basically every game he was available to play. He played something like 40-something straight games or more than that. And not to see him sit the bench. I mean, Koundé last year when he was fit was always a starter. We literally talked about when he got hurt how that could ruin our season because Koundé was so good. And to now see Eric getting the starts over him like in 2 games in a row, again, it's confusing, but Eric is a good player, so not really mad at that. And Hansi Flick knows what he's doing. Next thing we saw, no Frankie de Jong. We saw Marc Casado playing in that pivot alongside with Pedri that we saw so much last season. Obviously, there's been links over the past couple of days. I made a video about it on this channel that Marc Casado, Barca are open to selling him with teams like, I think, Betis and Como have been interested, and maybe this was a statement from Flick. Again, I don't think it was necessarily a statement from Flick. I think Flick just liked him in this game. You know, he liked his profile in this game, so he put him in. But yeah, that's another thing that we saw. And then the last thing that we saw is that we saw no Firmino Dani Olmo, so no natural 10 in the starting position, in the starting lineup, sorry. We had Rashford on the left, and then Rafinha centrally, and then Ferran at striker, which, you know, it was odd to see because obviously Rafa at times last season, especially in the beginning, played as a cam at times, but he had his best moments last season playing as a left winger. And that's where obviously he had the season to be in contention for the Ballon d'Or. So it was kind of weird to see that, but I was happy Rashford was getting the start. And yeah, the first half, bro, we looked decent at times. I think obviously wasn't great, but I think Barca at the start were looking much better. They were creating most of the chances, no clear-cut chances, but they had most of the ball. You know, there was a nice combination between Rashford and Balde. One time Rashford got past his defender and went deep into the touchline and then sent it across. That didn't go anywhere. But my point is, I was liking what I was seeing from that left-hand side. I liked what I saw from Lamine at the start of the first half, but then his game really didn't impress me much. We'll talk about Lamine later on in this video, but in the first half he had like a couple good moments, but it wasn't anything crazy. Did he have he had the heel flick in the first half, which was nice. He had that little heel flick. That was really cool, but apart from that, you know, he started off kind of good, doing some good things, but I didn't really love what I saw from Lamine. And yeah, man, I mean, the first goal, it's Lamine loses the ball actually for the first goal. Now we're talking about Lamine. He actually is at fault for the first goal. Not totally at fault, but he does lose the ball in a vulnerable position for Barca. Barca's shape is all over the place. They want to go on the counter. They switch the ball, and then the ball gets fed to Ivan Romero in the box. He completely, he tears Cubarsí a new one there, and then a great finish. You can't really ask much from Joan Garcia there because he was so close, so I don't expect Joan to make that save, but yeah, Cubarsí gets smoked, and that was a great counter all around. That was a really well-worked team goal from Levante. I was really impressed when I saw that, man, because he found the runner making, because the guy on the right wing was wide open, so he found him. Obviously, great vision from him, great vision, great instincts from the left winger to find him, and then to find Ivan Romero in the box, and that little shimmy to get past Cubarsí. Cool, man. I mean, look, if that was Araujo, and I'm not trying to look, I don't like doing that because that's almost like breeding, like I'm not trying to do something toxic there, you know, I'm not trying to say, oh, Cubarsí gets a pass, but Araujo doesn't get a pass. But, you know, Cubarsí is prone to make mistakes at times. I've pointed it out on this channel, other people have pointed it out too, and it seems like he never gets the same, he never gets that same energy that Araujo gets, and that was poor from Cubarsí. And Cubarsí today, let's be honest, guys, did not have his best game. He got smoked a couple times. He did not have his best game, so, you know, I think Araujo was the better center back of the two today, if you ask me. But yeah, that was their first goal of the game, which, you know, really, really pissed me off. And then the second goal of the game was obviously a penalty. It sucked because it was right before halftime. Balde does so well there to track back. I wrote it in my notes. Balde does so well there to track back and actually, you know, make a tackle on the shot on goal because, you know, the guy was one-on-one basically with Joan Garcia. Rashford makes a tackle. He saves a shot. And then the ball just, I mean, they shoot it again and in Balde's arm, I don't think that's a handball. His hand is attached to his body. How is that a handball? The handball rule is so inconsistent. That is the problem because how is this not a handball? How is this not a handball? But Balde's, how is this not a handball? But Balde's is a handball. That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. It's so inconsistent. His hand is in a natural position. So what are we doing here? I never thought he was actually going to check that in VAR. When he was like standing there and Araujo was talking to him and the captains were talking to him and he was just there like standing saying like doing he was saying like wait I'm talking, and then when he said that he was going to go check VAR, I was like, what the fuck is he checking VAR for? Like, what is he talking about? Like, there's no way he's going to give that as a pen. It's not a pen. And you guys know I'm not really a guy who discusses the refs much. I don't really talk about robberies or this and that, but that to me is never a pen. So anyway, they give the pen. I don't know what Joan Garcia was doing to save that pen. He just kind of bounced in place, and then by the time the guy shot, he dove by the time the ball was already in the back of the net. I mean, he dove so late for that. I think he maybe assumed he was going down the middle, and then he didn't go down the middle, so it didn't really... I mean, it just sucked. I mean, the first half just all around sucked, but... Yeah, man, I mean, what did I like in the first half? I liked Rashford, honestly. People are going to think that I'm over here, you know, just trying to... Like, I'm trying to cover up for Rashford. I'm not. I really thought he actually played well. He was one of the few good players in the first half, in my opinion, going forward. Because I thought he was trying things. I thought, you know, he had a terrible pass. He meant to pass it to Pedri, and it was a really, really bad pass. And it almost left Barca really exposed at the back. But, you know, it ended up not amounting to anything, that bad pass. And apart from that, I actually thought he had some good moments in that first half. I think, you know, his passing is not quite up to par yet, but I think he'll get the hang of it eventually because he is a really, really good football player. So, you know, I actually didn't hate what I saw from Rashford. I thought Balde and him were combining fairly well at times. Who else did I see? Pedri. I mean, Pedri should have had an assist to Ferran Torres. That's one thing that we got to talk about. Ferran Torres, man. I mean, he scored. Ferran scored, but that would have been amazing for me for the finalthread.com. Today was a great day for the finalthread.com, guys. Not to be this guy, but I got to do it now because this is like my stock is going up. I have a shirt with Ferran Torres, I have a shirt with Pedri. Both of them scored today, and both of them almost combined for a goal. Pedri passes it to Ferran. Ferran is in the box in that first half, and he blasts it at the post. At that time, I was getting ready to burn every single Ferran Torres shirt I have left in inventory. I was getting ready to take it off the website. I was getting ready to email everybody who purchased a Ferran Torres shirt and offer them a full refund and an apology from me. That's how pissed I was with the way that Ferran Torres was playing in that first half. That's how pissed I was. But you know what? He made it up to us. But yeah, I don't know how he misses that. I don't know how he misses that. But that was Barca's clearest chance of the first half. That was Ferran Torres' shot at the post. But second half comes around. What do we see in the second half? So, Rashford is off. I thought that was a bit harsh. I thought maybe Ferran would have come off because I thought Rashford was better than Ferran. But he takes Rashford off. Rashford only plays 45 minutes. And then we see Olmo come on. And we see Gavi come on. And we see Casado off. So, Casado for Gavi and Olmo for Rashford. Casado didn't have his best game in my opinion in that first half. Didn't really look great. I thought, it was weird for me. I don't know if Frankie's carrying a knock. I don't know what's happening with that, but it was weird not to see Frankie in the starting lineup. But anyway, I didn't like what I saw from Casado in particular. But he goes off. Rashford goes off. Olmo and Gavi come on. And then, right at the 49th minute, man, I get emotional talking about this, bro. Let me take another sip of water. I get emotional talking about this because finally somebody grew a pair of balls and shot from outside of the box. And it was Pedri. He said, fine, I'll do it myself, bro. I will do it myself. You guys don't want to do it, I'll do it. Should have had an assist in the first half. Didn't get the assist, but you know what? He got his goal. And that is the most important thing. He got his goal. Pedri Potter, the magician. What a shot. What a shot from outside of the box. That ball was curling like outward. It was insane. Like, it reminded me of the goal that Bellingham scored actually against Barca Montjuic in his first Clásico ever where they came back and won 2-1. It was kind of like the long shot that Bellingham scored where he just kind of curves outwards. It was that same type of goal. It was beautiful, man. What a shot from Pedri. That's how you beat a low block. Playing Levante is already a chore. Playing them away from home is even worse. If you've been watching La Liga for a long time, you know these games are nightmare fuel, bro. They suck. But, and being down to them 2-0, you might as well write your obituary because you're fucked, man. It's going to be hard to come back. Levante, away from home, you're down 2-0. They're going to park the bus like crazy. That was a nasty low block they were playing. And sometimes the only way to beat a low block is not passing it from side to side and making overlapping runs and doing this and doing that and trying to combine inside the final third. No, sometimes it's just, blast it. Just see what happens. Just shoot it and see what happens. And he did that. And it worked out. And at that point, Barca it was 2-1. And it was early in the first half, in the second half, which was the best thing ever. They made it 2-1 early in the second half. And then, Ferran Torres, a couple minutes later, crossed from Rafinha from the corner, and Ferran Torres with a beautiful finish. And at that point, we were like, okay, Ferran is back. Ferran is back. This is the guy that we saw all last season. Flick didn't take him out. He trusted him. He said, you know what, you missed that chance in the first half. You weren't particularly great in the first half. Let's be completely honest. He wasn't. And Flick said, you know what, I'm going to leave you on the pitch, and you're gonna prove me right. Because everybody proves Hansi Flick right. And he did it, man. What a finish from Ferran. What a finish from Ferran. And then after that, Eddie had a chance where he headed it right at the keeper, man. Eddie Garcia had a chance. If you guys remember where he headed it right at the keeper, I thought that was a chance. Ferran had a chance too, where he headed it and it was like, he was like wide open, but Eddie goes behind him, so he got confused. Maybe Eddie wanted the ball. I don't know, but that was a bad header too. There's a lot of chances, man. A lot of chances. Almost an own goal. We saw that. From who was it? From Levante, we almost saw him score an own goal, and then the third goal was an own goal because I forget who sent in the cross to the box. Was it Lamine? It was Lamine who sent in the cross, and then the Levante player just kind of grazes it, and it goes into the far post, and then that's the way it ended, bro. It ended with an own goal. I cannot believe it, man. I cannot believe it. We also got a free kick, and it went to nothing. We need a better free kick taker, bro. We need a better free kick taker because these guys are not cutting it. Let's be honest. Rashford would have been good for that because Rashford's actually decent at taking free kicks. But yeah, man, Pedri was doing it all. Pedri was tracking back. Pedri was winning the ball in deep in Barca territory. He was doing everything. He was the man of the match today, bro. He was the man of the match today. Lewandowski came on in the second half. To me, didn't really do much of significance. Neither did Christensen, honestly. I didn't think Leo got the ball match. He was getting frustrated at times with Lamine Jamal. Now it's probably a good time to go through and talk about the players individually. Joan Garcia conceded too. I thought for the most part his distribution was good. He was coming out of his goal when Levante were trying to beat that high line by playing balls over the top. And he was doing good things. He was clearing the ball when he needed to. By the way, I wrote in my notes here, the high line was working well at times in the first half because Barca drew 3 offsides like in the first 20 minutes. So I thought for the high line was working well, and then it was kind of here and there. But anyway, I thought Joan Garcia, the 2 goals, the penalty, he could have done better for that, honestly, like the way he dove for that. And that, if he dives the right way, it's savable, so he could have done better there. But I think, for the most part, he did great. He conceded 2 goals, but I thought he did really well. Right back, Eddie Garcia. Didn't overlap enough, in my opinion. I think Lamine Jamal kind of struggled because he wasn't overlapping enough. I still think Koundé's a better player. I think Eddie is a great utility player, but I would rather see Koundé sometimes. But I understand that with Araujo's limitations on the ball, you want somebody who's more natural on the ball with Eddie Garcia, so I get it. I get what Flick is thinking, but I thought Eddie was decent, not great. Araujo, I thought he made some good defensive contributions today. Didn't really make many mistakes passing out from the back. Again, he's not going to play these beautiful balls that Inigo used to play, but I thought defensively he was actually pretty good. Didn't get a yellow card. Wasn't really committing too many fouls. I thought Araujo actually looked decent. He was the best of the 2 center backs in my opinion because Kouarsi was not great. I didn't think Kouarsi was great. I already spoke about him. He made the mistake. I thought he was getting sometimes caught out of position too much, so I didn't think Cubarsí was great. So for me, Araujo was a better center back. Balde, I actually think Balde looked good. He gave away the pen, but he tracked back in that play. He was combining well with Rashford. He was trying to make things happen on the left hand side. I liked what I saw from Alejandro Balde. I really did. Pedri, like I already talked about, man of the match, amazing. Got the goal, should have had an assist. The guy's a magician, bro. What a stud he is. The best midfielder on the planet to me. What a player. Casado, talked about him, didn't think he was great. Then Gavi came on, and Gavi was great, bro. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Gavi was so good when he came on. He was everywhere on the pitch. We needed that energy. We needed that energy from Gavi because he was so good. He was so good when he came on. So shout out to Pedri, shout out to Gavi, because both of them were so good today. And Gavi, I gotta give him his props because last game against Mallorca, I didn't mention it, but he actually looked good in the last game against Mallorca too, the cameo that he made. So shout out to Gavi for his performance because it was great. Right winger, Lamine Yamal, selfish today. Shot too many times on goal, his shots were weak. Was trying to take on his man, wasn't really working today. He wasn't my favorite Lamine Yamal performance ever, but again, it's gonna come and go. You know, he's not like he had a great game against Mallorca. Today wasn't his best game, you know, but I still think he's trying to make things happen. He had the cross on goal he had the cross that led to the own goal, so you know he kind of had a contribution of that in that sense, if you want to call it. But I thought he looked great. I didn't think he looked great. Sorry, that contradicts everything I just said. I didn't think he looked great. Lamine Yamal, I didn't think he looked great. Midfielder, Dani Olmo when he came on wasn't my favorite Dani performance, to be honest with you guys. I'm not loving what I'm seeing from him. He had some good moments, but I didn't love what I saw from him. Rafinha, when he moved out to the left, because obviously we already spoke about Rashford, didn't really get involved in the game much. I thought we were gonna see him involved a lot more now that he was in his favorite position, which is the left hand side. Didn't really see that, but I thought Rafa, you know, he had a couple decent moments in that game too. And then striker, we already talked about it. You know, Lewandowski came on, didn't do much. Ferran got the goal. Was frustrating in the first half, not so much in the second half because he got the goal. But yeah, man, that's 3 points. I know every single rival fan was thinking, oh, we got him this time and it didn't get us. Levante is the house of comebacks for Barca. I mean, it happened back in 2021 with that goal from Luke de Jong, cross from Jordi Alba. It happens again today, 3-2, massive win for the team. I'm super happy. Yeah, you guys let me know what you think in the comments, man. What did you think of the game? What things stood out to you? Do you think there was something that I missed that I didn't mention that you guys want to add in the comment section? Feel free to let me know. But yeah, we spoke about the goals. We spoke about, you know, the handball. We spoke about everything basically. So yeah, that's it for me. I love you guys so much. Check out the final thread for the best graphic tees in the game. Pedri and Ferran both scored, man. If you're gonna be the coolest person ever at your work, at your gym, whatever the fuck you go with the shirt on, you're gonna be the coolest person ever. Now that Ferran and Pedri both scored a goal. Anyway, love you guys, man. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out.